Very, very good morning to every one of you. As part of FLN program, NEP to 2020, we are all for doing FLN in our schools. Especially, it makes us, the teachers, to teach the children to read with understanding, and afterwards, they must use them in the neighborhood, as well as immediately they must know to use the numeracy, especially counting all those things in the market areas and counting in in their own environment. So, as part of FLN, all the teachers are doing lot of activities in our schools. Now, I have very eminent resource persons in our school. Madam Kamala Eswaran, she took up the toy-based pedagogy in our Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangatan, RO Chennai conducted it, and she attended the workshops for the teachers, and she came to our school and taught all the teachers how to use the toy-based pedagogy in our schools. So the Madam Kamala Ishwari is also here to present the toy-based pedagogy. They are going to take up the things now for every one of us to enlighten us with the activities and toy-based pedagogy and why there is NAP, all those things. These two people will be doing it right now for all the teachers to benefit. So thank you very much for the opportunity given to me, Madam Kamala Ishwaran. Thank you.
Kamala Ishwaran ma'am's this class, this presentation, I wanted everyone to witness because I was so impressed by the classroom transaction. Over to you, Kamala ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Education breeds confidence, confidence breeds hope, and hope breeds peace. And at the end of the day, it is peace that we all strive for. I'm sure you'll all agree with revered principals and learned colleagues. A very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank my ever encouraging principal ma'am for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this event. Well, today I am given the session of toy-based pedagogy. Well, there would be no child who has not played with toys. So recently, when I read article, they said that parents are taking a lot of effort, putting in a lot of money to buy a lot of toys for the children. But children cannot differentiate between toy and the everyday work, whether it is their own vessels or pouring water for plants. So all these are toys for the children. So we will just start with the PPT. So toys are things that all of us play with, and no doubt children are very, very interested when you give them a toy, isn't it? So what?
Like Madam told us, toy based pedagogy is old wine in new bottles. All of us have played with toys and we have imagined, we have learned stories. Our Pallanguri, our what is that? Snake and ladder, all these ways we've learned, we've played with numbers, we have learned concepts of life, isn't it? So, Kamala Madam's this session will teach you, will tell you how toys can be effectively used in classroom transactions. Madam is here. Over to ma'am.
Well, so first we need to know what is toy-based pedagogy. So here you can see that it is nothing else but it is ways of teaching and learning with toys and games. Right? We have made so many models and all through our teaching experiences, we have made so many models. We see that children learn from so many small things that they take in their hand. Is it not? Now, that is what is in the form of a methodology now. Right. So this is what has generally been happening. As you all know, after a long research, now it has been found that certain areas are lacking when the children grow up, in spite of the government spending so much of money on education. So that's why this NEP has come into effect, and this emphasizes that the child should learn what concepts are actually designed for the child to learn. Now, what can you tell me? Now, see, when I am telling myself, no, I feel that you are not able to hear what I am telling. So, I would like one of the participants to tell me what do you expect? What gains do we get, or what is the outcome that we expect when the children play with toys? Generally, I would like KV Virudhunagar to participate, please. If not, I will go with Minambakkam teachers. Yes, Smita, can you please help me? What do you think? According to you, what do you think when you play with the toy? Now the child is playing with a ball. What
Yes,
does the child learn?
Whatever we need to teach children, whatever we need to convey them, that should be learned through playing through the toys and games.
Yes. Okay. Now, for example, now I have given you the example of a ball. So, what exactly does the child learn when the child is touching a ball? When it is in real life, when it is in daily life,
Mm.
naturally the child enjoys it, and secondly, the child remembers. That is what we need. The education should be joyful, the teaching should be joyful, and it should have a long term memory on the child's mind. Very often in our practical classes, we find that the children are not able to remember it for a long time. We say, oh, I have taught you so much, you have learned so much, even then you forgot. When the test is coming, we don't see the marks. Or when somebody asks a very simple question, the child is not able to answer. That is because the child has not connected with the environment, right? And secondly, so the first thing that it is flexible. It is not necessary that you should use only this kind of thing or that kind of thing made out of rubber, made out of paper, nothing of that sort. It is simply flexible in nature. And what does it help to the learner? It helps the learner to explore. We don't, sometimes in the class when we are giving an activity, we get highly unexpected answers from the children. We never think in that way, but the child, comes out with a wonderful answer, right? And what is expected from the NEP? You have to develop creativity, you have to develop the imagination of the child, which you are doing wonderfully here, right? When we use the toys, we are developing the imagination of the child. We are helping the child to observe. Actually, we are not helping, we are only a facilitator. Okay, once you give it, then the child himself observes it, right? His observation is not distracted at all, it is completely on the toy, because according to him it is a game. He is playing, he or she is playing there, and they are creating their own hypothesis, or that small level, whatever is expected. This is round in shape, it is circular, it doesn't have any corner. How many ever times we tell it, it is different from when the child touches by itself and finds that it has no corners, and that which is round is called a circle, right? Can I have the next slide, Danish? And the final one is expressing. So the child is able to express that this is so and so. These are the things, these are the facts that I have observed. The child is able to say. So you are able to develop language, you are able to develop mathematics, right? Yes. Now what is our role as a teacher? Now we only have, as I told you initially, we are only a facilitator. What we have to do, we have to create space for linking the new concept. That's all. The child is already finding all those things. Now what we have to do is just to link his finding with what we actually have to. That's all, right? So it makes our job very easy. Now these are called the indigenous toys. Generally when you go through the net, and when you go for this toy based pedagogy, this is what generally is the first thing. There are different types of toys, isn't it? So these are indigenous toys. So the first thing you would have all learned as a child, in our days we did not have any TV channels and mobiles, so we all played. Okay, I am 50 plus, so in our days we all definitely played in the ground, we played with things. So these were the kind of toys that were available to us. We did not have lot of other toys. These were the kind of toys that was available. And now you all know about this, is it not? This is a very easy one and a popular one also. So it is finger puppet. So when you play, take a rhyme, take a story. So when you are asking children to get involved in the activity finger puppet, you see that all the children are involved. So I will just show you a sample of it also. Now when we take first standard, we also know that these ABCD, now animals and birds, these are something which excite the children, right? So quickly we will just go through this. You can all easily tell me. If anyone can help me, it will be better. Alligator. B is for bird. C for caterpillar. Thank you, ma'am. D for duck. E for
E for elephant.
Elephant. F for
Fox.
it is falcon. And
G
G for
for giraffe. H
yes,
for horse.
Giraffe.
yes,
L for lizard.
yes.
J for jellyfish.
Jellyfish.
K
K
for
for
kangaroo.
kangaroo. Yes.
Lion.
L for lion.
M
M
for
for
mouse.
mouse. N for nightingale.
Nightingale.
O
O
for
for
ostrich.
ostrich.
P
P
for pig.
resembles pig. Yes. And Q for quail. R for rabbit. S for snake. T for tiger. U for unicorn. And V is for vampire bat. W is for wasp, and then X is for yes, it is X-ray
X-ray
fish.
fish.
Then we have the yak, and then the zebra.
Zebra.
Okay, so children are very excited when you give this kind of a thing and ask them to write or draw it, right? We also feel nice, isn't it? Something very colorful. Yes, then the other type of toys or the clay toys. You know, we, as Bala madam last session, she said, with the help of clay, we ask them to make the alphabet, or you make anything that is creative, that just helps the child to be more creative, is it not? Okay, next one, Dhanush. Yes, and then we have the reusable toys. Okay, so these toys are, it can be washed and it can be reused for many times and even for a few classes. Now, suppose one class is in first standard, the class which is in first standard could have also been using it because it is very reusable. Okay, so in our Indian history, we have this toys of Indian toys and games which are very closely linked to the learning. Okay, so many of us, we know we learn only from the day-to-day work. So we have a festival and we know Navaratri means what happens, so many golus, and some people are so interested in it that they make lovely stories out of those golu dolls, is it not? So it is really, people are very excited to go and see the golu. Oh, in your house, what is the golu? In my house, what is the golu? We exchange ideas and we also feel, okay, next year we will try to do that. Now you can see this. This is an inspiration of nature. Just by nature, what are the toys that nature gives us? Now, from the first picture, what do you think the child understands? Okay, the child understands that the face is circular, where the proportionality, actually we are not able to know that the child is actually going deep into it, but by drawings, by such modeling, you can see that the child learns proportionality, where the nose have to be, where the mouth has to be, where the eyes has to be, and how far the eyes have to be, how far the eyes have to be from the nose. All these are important as an adult we feel, oh, this is not great, but for a child all these are very important. And the secondly, the next thing is that the symmetry of it. You know, when the face is of this size, the hands cannot be so tiny or too large. It has to be symmetrical to the face, right? So all these are formed in the child's brain only by such activity. So the festivals that we usually use in our education, the paper flags on our Independence Day, you can see how enthusiastic and what to say, active the children are on Independence Day. Madam, flag for me, madam, flag for you, madam. And then they come and even distribute the flags during the independence. So these all are things that you already know. Golu during Navaratri, decorating the house with flowers, handwritten cards with paper during birthdays and all that. And next one, please. So here we see it's not necessary that the toys have to be of a huge range. We need not buy toys only if it is very costly. Not necessary, because it is a childhood stage where the child will easily cross that and go. So every time we cannot invest so much, right? So no cost toys are the best learning aids for the children. So it is paper straw, blowing balls, ice cream sticks, color recognition, and water play with strainer, paper plate clocks that most of us do already in the class, old socks into teddy and other animals. All these we already do. Is it not? So I just, when I was just going through this, I saw a few no cost toys which you will like. You know, many no cost toys are there, many of us know, but how they are used, right? A few slides I saw wherein they were using it very beautifully. I will just share it with you. So the first one was about the number line, how to add the number. Okay, and for adding the number, a small toy is used. Okay, I will just show you. You just watch it.
I can't forget forget the day we met. Your eyes so blue, me piercing through. I can't forget the day we met. Your smile so bright, it made me swoon. I love you, waiting for you, my love.
So this is all you know. This is only a wooden egg tray which you get free of cost when you buy eggs. So it is very enjoyable, isn't it? So just with the help of number line, and you have a car also which is telling you how to add it and where you reach, isn't it? So children get interested. Once they get interested, there is nothing that can stop them from doing all this. So these are absolutely no cost toys, isn't it? These are paper cups which we use in our house, and a thread with a small paper ball. It doesn't cost us much, but the child enjoys, right? So these kind of no cost toys, this can be used specially for our readiness program. When the first standard children, they are coming, and we have a few days given that we have to start this readiness program. So you can see how happy they are once they have completed it, is it not? It is as if they have won some Olympiad award. So these small things, they help the child to be very excited, and whatever. So here you see that very simple toys. It's only a paper cut, is it not? It takes hardly 5 minutes for us to cut it in that shape, only thing different papers, right? It all depends on how we give them the creativity and how creative we are in making them learn it. So the paper finger puppets we had used in the class activity also, in our own class also. So you can see that some children were very overjoyed using it. And for this example, I wanted to tell you that it is a very easy, especially first, second and third standard, it's very easy to get work done, wherein sometimes we need the parents' help. Okay, so first this was a practice session that we had, and it was only during the practice session that I took it. First, only 5 children had brought the finger puppets. Then I took a video of it and sent it in the class group. Next day, there were 20 children. So the next day, finally, there were all the children. And there is one girl who used to cry coming to the school. Even she had participated. You can just have a look. It is not very perfect.
Here I am, how do you do? Daddy finger, what's your name?
Well, having said all this, now I am going to show you a small video wherein I have not used any puppets at all. Okay, the lesson was such. It is just because we are talking about toy-based learning, we cannot use puppets in every lesson, isn't it? So it depends on the lesson. In all the lessons, we cannot use it. So please watch this video. Dhanush, sorry, this is a different one. Very good. Very good. Dhanush, that's Paula's mother tongue. Okay, so in this lesson, the lesson is, you must have all heard about the Akbar Birbal story. Those who have read out these stories for the children, or you have gone through a lot of these Akbar Birbal stories. This is a story where there is a scholar who comes to the Birbal's court and he claims that he knows nobody can find his mother tongue. Okay, and finally, Birbal, as usual, is smart enough to find out his mother tongue. So this is a lesson in class 4 English.
One day, a learned pandit came to Akbar's court. He told the king and all his courtiers that he has mastered many different languages. I am a scholar who has come from far-off land. You know, I am gifted to be one of the high intellects in the world. I am a master of so many languages. I have traveled to numerous kingdoms, but not one of them would find my mother tongue. Are you willing to take up the challenge? Keeper, you are my last hope. Sure, my lord. This scholar must be very tired. Can we ask him to rest for the night with your permission? Please proceed. My lord, shall we all meet at the court tomorrow morning? The next day morning at the court. Meanwhile, did you find the scholar's mother tongue? My lord, I am sure that the scholar's mother tongue is Telugu. I accept my defeat. I agree that you are the most intelligent man, Birbal, as your minister. Yes, my mother tongue is Telugu. I am so eager to know how you solve this. Please do tell us all. In times of difficulties, this person speaks only his mother tongue. I am so proud of you, Birbal.
So here you see there is no toy used at all, and in this chapter we cannot use at all. So this was the most effective way that we could have done this lesson, I feel, right? Of course, there is always room for improvement. Let us see if something else can be done. Thank you for the opportunity given. I hope it would have been of some use to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kamala ma'am. This wonderful presentation, straight from the heart. It was everything that she used in class. The scholar's mother tongue had me. I was amazed at the children's ability to speak. Look at the scholar; he could speak in multiple languages, isn't it? So children are capable of attaining limitless. They can reach boundaries once we make it available to them. So thank you, Kamala ma'am and Bala ma'am and Usha ma'am for your training. Wonderful. I know this workshop is more for the teachers of Virudunagar and Tiruvannamalai and our own teachers. But well, I was educated through this workshop. Thank you. Thank you, teachers, for your effort.